welcome back to the Stadium Journey podcast, and thanks for sticking with us. Stadium Journey is the industry leader in stadium reviews for the sports fan, with full stadium reviews of over 2,600 venues in 61 countries. Check out all of our reviews on our website, stadiumjourney.com. Also, check us out on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at facebook.com/stadiumjourney, on Twitter at Stadium Journey, and on Instagram, also at Stadium Journey. And if you like what you hear on the podcast or see on the website, think about supporting our work on Patreon. Supporter levels start at just $2 per month and come with exclusive members-only rewards. Go to patreon.com/Stadium Journey for details. And to find all the best podcasts on the internet, go to hiactalkradio.com. That's where you'll find wrestling podcasts, MMA podcasts, Obey the Puck, and so much more. Or you can just go to any of your finer podcast aggregators on your phone and type in HIAC Talk Radio. They'll all be there. And check us out on Twitter at HIAC Talk Radio. Ever wonder how many stadiums you've been to and how that compares to your friends? Or what your favorite team's record is based on only the games you've attended? There's now an app for that. Sports Passport, the easy way to track, chronicle, and relive every game you attend. Visit sportspassport.com or find Sports Passport in the Apple App Store today. Sports Passport is the official sponsor of the Stadium Journey podcast. Now, once again, it's time to introduce everybody. I am Paul Baker. You can follow my Stadium Journeys on Twitter at PuckmanRI. With me, as always, is Dave Cotney. Dave, where can the people follow your journeys online?
All of the people can follow me at Sports Passport, A View from My Seat, Twitter, and Instagram at ProFan9.
Also joining us once again is Marc Viquez. Marc, where can our listeners follow your journeys online?
They can follow me on Twitter at Ballpark Hunter, 24/7.
And that was your broadcasting voice. And last, but certainly not least, is our producer, coming to us today from Chunky, Mississippi, is the above-average comedian, Dan Colachico. Dan, where can our listeners follow you online?
You can follow me at DanLaw83. I actually have no idea where I am now. I have no idea.
You're in Chunky, Mississippi.
Sure.
So, for those of you who are with us, last week we recapped the ballparks of the American League, and we are going to move on now to the other league, the National League. Thank you. Or did I just say National League?
The Senior Circuit.
The Senior Circuit.
There you go.
The place where pitchers hit and people get excited for double switches, the National League.
Boom!
Unless they're scoring the game.
Do not mock Tony La Russa.
You know what? I was at a game the other night, summer college league game, and there was a kid. He must have been about 8 or 9 years old, and he was scoring the game, and it just made me feel good to see him doing that.
Oh.
Well, Jackson scored tried to score a game in Mississippi, and the double switches killed him.
I used to keep score at games until I started working for Stadium Journey. Now I get too anxious. I've got to go walk around and check out the ballpark at some point during the game. I can't sit there for the whole 9 innings anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm the same way.
I'm everything that's wrong with society today. I can't sit still. So we're going to run down the 15 ballparks of the National League according to the Stadium Journey website. You can go to stadiumjourney.com, check out our rankings. They're based on the fanfare rating system, which takes into account food, atmosphere at the ballpark, the neighborhood the ballpark's in, fan support, value, your return on investment, access both to the ballpark and once you get inside the ballpark, and then a catch-all category for anything that's extra. For example, some ballparks have a great display of the team's history. That could count for something, and that's where we put it in there. So, the correspondents will give their score, and if there is a tie, we break it by crowd reviews. So, for those of you who like the website, go to the website, put in your own crowd reviews. When we do ranking episodes, we do take that stuff into account. So, you have a voice. Maybe not in this podcast, but you do have a voice.
No, that's fun.
So, National League. We're going to start out at the bottom. We're going to run this down 15-1 Casey Kasem style. So, starting off at before we get
long distance dedication.
Dear Casey,
it's about I
haven't seen my father in 50 years,
it's about
but I know he's out there. Can you play Linda Ronstadt somewhere out there.
But you guys ever hear the Snuggles thing where he flips out about the dog?
Oh, wow. I have forgotten about that.
Can't believe you had an up-tempo number and a goddamn death dedication.
Although I have a hard time listening to Casey Kasem and not thinking of him as the voice of Robin from Super Friends.
And Shaggy.
And Shaggy.
Yeah,
and Sebastian from Josie and the Pussycats.
Let me just say, Robin never sound tougher.
No.
Right.
Okay, we better get going here before we're...
I'd love to hear Casey Kasem and Chris Shepard do a top countdown list. That'd be
Where was I? I have no idea. I've lost control of
Number
the
15.
Number 15!
I wanted to just
Casey,
give everybody
coast
a bit
to
of
coast.
background. Between the four of us here, we have been to all 30 Major League ballparks. So unlike some sports where we don't know what the heck we've been talking about, in this case, we are the experts.
Yeah. I got 14 in the National League.
You've got 14. Mark, you've got what, 13?
12.
12. I've got 9. Damn you, Atlanta.
Oh.
And
good.
Dan, you got 1? Yes, Dan has 1.
Are we talking about all time or still standing?
No, it's still standing.
National League, still standing.
Yeah,
Still playing.
1. Listen, before I met you guys and my fiance, I didn't think, travel to the other city. Go to the other state. No, I got 2. 2, sucker.
Hey, 2 beats a lot of people.
Okay.
Sure.
I think my wife has been to more Major League ballparks.
I
hates
don't
me.
I can't go
My
anywhere
wife-
else because people
my wife
go,
has
you're a Phillies fan.
7
We're going to
with
beat
me.
you up.
Yeah, my
Let me
wife
see.
has the 20 I have, so.
Yeah. No, I think she's only been to 2. Chicago.
Let's go. 15.
That's
15.
That's
But
cheating.
my wife has not been to Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, and I have.
Oh.
All right. Number 15. We're going to start the National League off right with a shocker. Okay? Are you ready for this one? Number 15 on the Stadium Journey rankings of National League ballparks. Miller Park, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Ah!
What?
No way.
Is that where they clap racist? I'm sorry.
No
I'm
way.
sorry. I take
Okay.
that back.
I got Miller Park at number 8. Miller Park probably has the best tailgating scene in all of baseball, for sure. It's not a difficult spot to get to. And one of the things that I did the tour at Miller Park too. Great tour. One of the things that I like about Miller Park the most is the ability to bring my little transistor radio, turn it on, and listen to Mr. Baseball call the game, Bob Uecker. That's definitely a highlight. Good brats, good beer. Miller Park, far from the bottom. I got it at number 8.
I definitely agree with you. The best tailgating, I believe that's where tailgating was invented. The best brats, the best cold beer. I had it low. I had it at number 12. And the reason I had it there, besides from the tailgating and the food, I felt like it reminded me of Chase Field in Phoenix. Just felt like I was in a warehouse. I wasn't that excited about it. I don't know. It's just a lot of people like Milwaukee. They talk about it. I love Milwaukee as a city. I love the fans themselves. Just wasn't a huge – when comparing it to the other ballparks, just Miller Park just did not rank up there with some of the other ones in the senior circuit.
I've got Miller Park ranked down low too, 8 out of 9 that I've been to in the National League. I went there on a day where the tailgating wasn't even that impressive. But the tailgating scene is awesome. Like you guys are saying, the food and the beverage there is great. But I think maybe with me, it's those indoor ballparks. Not a fan. I know that they're necessary. Milwaukee in April, I don't want to be sitting outside at a ball game either. And I don't know if I want to get a little off color here, but the roof at Miller Park, I just couldn't help but thinking that I was a gynecologist when I saw it.
Oh, boy. You had to go there. Yeah.
It was just, who thought that was a good design?
I mean, suddenly,
In April, when you're freezing your butt off, it's a good design because it's keeping your butt toasty. And here's one thing, and this is, for me personally, I love County Stadium. That was one of my favorite ballparks. And that might be why it ranks a little bit lower. It just, I miss County Stadium. That, to me, was old-time baseball. Cheap tickets, cheap food, cheap parking, and they replaced it with this modern facility that I don't think makes the grade. But what do I know?
But just to give it a little perspective, if we put this ranking in the American League, it would be at number 9. So there's a case to be said that the National League ballparks as a whole are far superior than the American League.
How about that?
All right. So we might have to cut some content out of that little discussion there.
I lost the time. It's gone.
All right. Coming in at number 14 is Marlins Park in Miami.
Oh, boy.
Hated it.
Really?
No, I've never been there.
Wait.
So,
where the fish are?
Yes.
Okay, so Marlins Park.
With a
I think I'm the only one that's been there. Is that correct?
Mark's the line of the night.
Mark's been there.
No, I have not been. That's one of the 2 stadiums I have not been to. I've been to whatever.
I thought Washington was one of the ones.
No, Washington and Miami.
So Marlins Ballpark, I have it at number 3.
What?
Oh, just leave.
Here's why.
Get out. You're fired.
It's pretty simple, actually.
Girls in bikinis?
We talked the last time we talked about Camden. And we talked post-Camden. And there will be 1 or 2 spots on this list that will just be copycats of Camden.
Mm.
What I like about Marlins Ballpark is it's unique. The colors are unique.
Yeah.
They're Miami. I like the location in that it used to be the Orange Bowl. So one of the things they've done is they've taken the old letters from the Orange Bowl and kind of haphazardly put them in the ground as an art form on the outside, like they're embedded in the concrete, which is kind of neat. Unlike that quote unquote general manager that they have there, I love the home run sculpture. I think it's awesome. It's
Eric Jeter doesn't.
Yeah. Marlins Ballpark is Miami, and it's so different than everything else. The roof was absolutely needed. The biggest problem with Marlins Ballpark is the lack of people there. But I probably am in the minority of people who would rank Marlins Ballpark as high as it is. They had the Bobblehead Museum, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, does the whole thing shake and bobble?
The whole it's like this giant glass display case full of bobbleheads, and it moves so that the heads are shaking the whole time. So yeah, it was pretty neat.
That's an interesting point. It does stand out, and I haven't been there, so I really can't say too much about it. But the Marlins, it's a shame that stadium was built and it was going to usher in a new era of the team. They had gone out and signed some high free agent profile players at the time, and they started off the season red hot, and then they traded everybody within a year or so. So, then this year all their top players were traded away for peanuts, and they're actually competing in the NL East. They're a few games ahead of the Mets. So I just hope they can get a baseball team there that can play consistently, so then maybe we can get a better baseline of what baseball can be like in Miami, because I think the fans have been jilted way too many times in the past 25 years.
Absolutely.
Way too many times. There was no reason to get rid of all their players this year. That place could have been fun, exciting, and maybe we would be talking a little bit differently about that baseball stadium down there.
What if Jose Fernandez, was that his name?
Jose Reyes was a big sign.
No, the big pitcher.
The pitcher, yeah, Hernandez. He passed away.
Yeah, without him dying, it'd be interesting to see what that team would be like. There was an article that I read that said that was the difference, the turning point in the franchise to where they are now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's I just think people in Miami, they like a winner. They want to see progress, and they have this giant green elephant down there that people aren't going to. And, you said stands out among the other ballparks in the major leagues. You're in Miami when you're there. So if I ever get down to Miami again, I'll check it out, because my last time there, I was at the old football stadium that the team played at, and that was god-awful.
All right. Coming
Next.
in at number 13, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia.
Ooh. Whew. Wow. I hate the Phillies. I like this ballpark. I like it more than Citi Field, home of my Mets.
We hate you too, Mark.
You know what? I know that. You guys tell us that all the time. New York sucks. New Jersey sucks. We're going to throw hot cheese on you.
New Jersey,
yeah,
what?
We hear it.
I'll fight him with the Jersey sucks.
Yeah.
All right.
The one nice thing you guys say is, at least you're not a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. But, No, but Citizens Bank Park, I think this is an underrated place. It's located in that sports complex of on Broad Street, South Broad Street. It is a fun place to be throughout the game. There are some great cheesesteaks there. There are some great sights. I love how it has a little bit of that brick and ivy in certain sections. It's a very pleasant place to watch baseball. And like I said, I hate the Phillies. I hate them. I'm not there to cheer for them. I have gone to war with many Philly fans in my life wearing a Met hat or a Met jersey, which I don't know if I do that anymore. But a great place. Mark. And I have this ranked on my list, number 8. Number 8. So, a little bit of discrepancy from the Stadium Journey list.
I have Citizens Bank Park at number 9. Like you, I like that it's in the athletic complex. Probably one of the. It's probably the best view of any stadium without water. So, because you got that nice view of, especially if you're up higher, you can see the cityscape, which is kind of nice. Now it's not like some of the other ones that are on the river or.
I would say St. Louis has a much better view without water.
Okay, I get that.
You got the Mississippi.
Baltimore before they built that stupid hotel in the way.
But I have Citizens Bank Park at number 9.
Yeah, Citizens Bank Park never gets a whole lot of love, but I've got it at 6 out of the 9 I've been to. It's a solid ballpark. It doesn't try too hard, but it's got a lot of features that other places have copied. Like Ashburn Alley. They were really the first ones to do something like that inside the ballpark. I mean, Baltimore had Utah Street, and Boston had Yawkey Way, but those are kind of separate from the ballpark. Ashburn Alley was right in the ballpark. It doesn't get much love. And for me, my rankings between number 3 and number 7 are kind of interchangeable. So they're all neck and neck in my book. But it's surprising to see Philly down that low. At number, go ahead, Dan.
Can the Philly guy add some?
No.
I agree. Okay.
No.
Let me tell you a story about Shea Stadium. No, I agree that it's that low because it's boring. No, Ashburn Alley's great. The little Walk of Fame stuff. But before the World Series, where you got a little history in there, other than just being a ball club, it was kind of here it is. I loved the lighting rigs that the big lights are on. I think those are fancy or snappy looking, but I'm not saying it's piece of crap, but I'm just like, other than the Walk of Fame, it's just like,
You can take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's not the vet. At least it's standing still.
Yeah, big, vast improvement over the vet, right?
Yeah, vast.
So do you miss the vet? Are you like, was that your childhood home or?
Yeah, I miss it as it's I miss the Civic Center and the vet because it's, I can still smell them. Whether it's good or bad, is debatable. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Nachos and sweat. Yummy.
Yeah. Kind of like Giant Stadium it had the same odor. Like, oh, hey, I'm home.
But I would never trade this one in now because we have that World Series win, and I mean, we're in first place right now. You know, we have some, now that there's legacy to it, it feels better going there. Before it was just like,
All right. So from one that may be surprising that it's down low to one that is not surprising to be down near the bottom, Chase Field, Arizona Diamondbacks.
I hate it. This was number 15 on my list. I went there and it felt like I was in a new version of the Metrodome. Just boring, nothing pleasingly nice about it. Aesthetically vapid. It was the only thing I enjoyed was the AC because it was about 120 degrees outside. I did not enjoy this place at all, and it number 15 for me. So you guys talk amongst yourself. I'm done.
Also at the bottom of my rankings, and Mark, I couldn't say it any better. Nothing to make this ballpark stand out. I was there. Yeah, I was also there in the day. It was 120 degrees was the high temperature. So the air conditioning was much appreciated. But outside of that, not a whole lot to really distinguish this ballpark.
That's the one in the National League I haven't been to. So I can't disagree with you.
I mean, even Arizona, even the Diamondbacks wanted a new stadium at one point, right? Weren't they fussing?
Oh, they're duking it out with the county like right now.
Yeah, it's. I said I wasn't going to say anything, but this is what Milwaukee and Arizona. It's just these. It just feel like I'm in a giant hangar. Now that's appealing in a hockey arena, but not in a baseball stadium.
I forgot what I was going to say. Another dome near the bottom of the list for me. So, oh well, it couldn't have been that important. So, yeah. Arizona will probably be the next ballpark to be replaced, either Arizona or Tampa.
I can see that.
Put less seats in there, maybe.
That's just because Oakland can't get their stuff together.
Exactly.
All right, well, if the Giants let them build in San Jose, they'd probably be playing there by now.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. We'll start a pool. Which city's going to get the ballpark next? All right, so coming in at number 11. Speaking of new ballparks, SunTrust Stadium, brand new, but only at number 11.
Number 11.
That's a little on the low side. So outside of any,
you can blame Lloyd for this. Lloyd did this review. Lloyd Brown.
Outside of any bribery or perks that Lloyd Brown might have possibly suggested to be coming my way. No, I had SunTrust Park at number 6. I was there this month, so it was. I will say it was much better than I expected. It is northwest of Atlanta, so it's not where Phillips Arena and Mercedes-Benz is, which is kind of in the downtown area, like it or not. But the Battery area, and Lloyd was on it, he talked about the Battery. It was much bigger than I ever expected. There is a lot of stuff going on around there, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice park. There's not really too many things that will, you sit in the seats and it'll stand out. They do still have the Chick-fil-A cow out in center field. The Hall of Fame area, I will say, is much, much better than what they had at Turner. So yeah, I had SunTrust at 6.
Yeah, no, and I had it at 7. I was fortunate enough to go down there this summer, spend some time with Lloyd, and he gave me a little bit of information about the building. What I found intriguing was they built this in this business complex area of town, away from downtown Atlanta, and they built their own downtown setting, dubbed the Battery, complete with a grass area where kids can play and they can have live events. They have a drum corps band that comes out before the game to get you hyped. They have a movie theater and a comedy hall outside. They have places to hang out. They have individual parking lots and parking decks that kind of are tucked into the fabric of the Battery setting. And, once you think about it more and more, I think this ballpark will probably rise on the list. It has everything you need. It's comfortable. It's cozy. It's got some nice food selection. It doesn't knock you out. It did take me a while to find some basic ballpark nachos on the top deck, but it's it's a fun place to be. It's one of those that I think we're going to like a little bit more in the future. Just give it some time to marinate with the rest of us travelers.
Yeah, I think some ballparks need to get lived in before they can hit their full potential. I'll be hitting SunTrust in a couple of weeks myself, so I can't wait to see it.
Nice.
So coming in at number 10 is Dodger Stadium.
Ooh.
Dodger Stadium. The most overrated spot in the world.
My grandfather would be happy.
I have Dodger Stadium at number 14. It's in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's not easy to get to, and it's surrounded by parking lot after parking lot after parking lot. It's almost like a meteor landed, and where the meteor landed is Dodger Stadium, and the fallout all around it are the parking lots. We actually lost the car, and had a heck of a time finding the car there. It was really hot. The Think Blue sign is okay, but there's nothing that really jumps out at me. If you put Dodger Stadium in Milwaukee, it would not be thought of as highly as it is.
Yeah, you know what? I like Dodger Stadium because I think it's the third oldest ballpark now after Fenway and Dodger Stadium. I'm sorry, Fenway and Wrigley. They built, I think, 61 is when it debuted, and it's still considered a great place to see a baseball game at. It definitely has that early 60s vibe, architect, and look. The Dodgers have never had another stadium since then in Los Angeles. It has stood the test of time. It's one of those iconic landmarks in Los Angeles to see a game. I had it at number 6, which... that was surprising for me because I didn't know what to think of it. But when I looked at the listings and the fanfare score of my own, that's how high it ranked. But I went there. I was there every time I've been there, it's been sold out. The Dodgers are a very sexy team to visit when you're in town. And, I think it kind of it feels like Los Angeles. But you're right. If that was in any other city, I don't know if it would still be standing. So.
One of only 2 ballparks where if you have an upper-level ticket, you cannot access the lower level.
Yeah, I think, you're right.
I am right. I've never been there, so I can't comment. So, coming in next at number 9, Citi Field, New York Mets.
Citi Field, number 9.
I don't agree with this at all because it's higher ranked than the Citizens Bank Park.
Okay, Dan, producer man, I had Philly at number 9. I have Citi Field at number 10.
And I had Citi Field 9, and I had Citizens at 8. I think Citizens is a nicer park. I'm a Met fan. I grew up going to Shea. I grew up watching the Mets play at Shea. It doesn't feel like I'm watching the Mets play at Citi Field compared to watching Shea, but that's more of a personal choice. I would give them this. They have great food selection there, a definite 5. Some local regional food like Shake Shack. They have great pizzas. They have great Italian food. They have some great they even have some nice barbecue up there from what I remember. I like the Shea Bridge. I like how the Apple's back. I love how they have that Dodger Ebbets Field facade. However, when it first opened, one of my gripes was it felt more like a homage to Dodger history and National League baseball history more to the Mets. Jackie Robinson's an iconic player, deserves to be honored anywhere you go in baseball. So I like that walking in the stadium. But dang it, can I see a Tom Seaver statue? Can I see Gary Carter's number retired?
How do you not have a Bobby Bonilla statue with that contract?
Well, no, we're not having a Bobby Bonilla statue. You know what?
He's still getting paid.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Most teams give the players that much money up front. The Mets decide to kind of spread it out after a few years, but yeah. But I'm saying I want to see more history towards the Mets there. They have a Hall of Fame, which is nice. It's not as good as some other ones I've seen, like Kansas City. But let's see some retired numbers up there. Let's see some statues. Let's make the Met history something that us fans are proud of. I get it. We have been terrible, especially tonight, 19-0 now. But I want to see more love towards the past glory years, some of our players. They're not all Hall of Famers, but there are Hall of Famers, damn it. And we want to see more of that.
That's well put.
I know several Phillies fans that will go up there, just because they like the stadium so much. So that's saying something. And
see, I'd rather go to Philly to see a game. So
that's so weird. I feel the exact opposite. I'd rather try the other one out just because.
Well, the thing is, driving from New Jersey, going to a game in Citi Field, you're paying the Verrazano, you're paying the Outer Bridge, you're paying the park. Going to Philly, you're just paying the park. So unless you park in Roosevelt Park, is that what it's called? There's a park down there for free.
And I think you said a lot of stuff that's bang on. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love the apple, of course. I like how they have still hung on to Jackie Robinson. Although he was a Dodger, he was a Brooklyn Dodger. He wasn't a Los Angeles Dodger. Mm-hmm. So the Jackie Robinson rotunda there, I kind of like. I like how it looks like Ebbets Field, but more Mets, definitely more Mets. And it hasn't been said yet, but I'll say it here. Citi Field is infinitely better than Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Agreed. Yes. Agreed.
The biggest drawback for Citi Field is its location. I think if you put that down in a different neighborhood, it may get a little more love than it gets.
Yeah, you have a lot of auto repair shops and junkyards to look at outside, but it's always been like that. So I guess as a Met fan, you've come to expect that. But yeah, why doesn't somebody go there and kind of yuppify it? Exactly. Imagine the things you can do out there.
Yeah, because there is room. The U.S. Tennis Association is right there too,
Yeah,
so the potential's there. I know the last time I went to Citi Field, I went in the parking lot, found first base, took a knee, and cried a little bit.
Much different memories. But.
Yeah, at least for Red Sox fans. Yes. All right, Citi Field, maybe right where it should be in the rankings. How about number 8, Nationals Park, Washington Nationals?
Haven't been there, so unfortunately I don't know. I know it's expensive to park there. That's the only thing I can tell you.
I feel the same way about Nats Park as I do. To me, as a Phillies fan, it seems like a clone of Citizens Bank. Mm-hmm. And it's not bad. It's not a dump. It's just, Now, compared to RFK Stadium, it's got, it's unbelievable. It's the greatest thing that's ever been in that city as far as sports goes. But comparing to other baseball parks that, it's cool, but it's just like,
I've got National Park at 13 of 14. It's okay. There's nothing much that really jumps out about National Park to me. There are a few seats. Well, at the time that I went, which was quite a few years ago, there are a few seats where you can look out and see the Capitol building. Yeah, but those seats are kind of few and far between, and you really got to know where you're looking, I think. But yeah, it was just fine. There's nothing really that stands out that's overly spectacular. Not the easiest to get to, but nothing in Washington is easy to get to. So.
Well, I don't know. I would kind of debate you on that one. Driving to Nationals Park is a nightmare. I kind of like Nationals Park. It's fun. I like the Racing Presidents. I think that's true. I think all the knockoffs from it are just, don't like them. But, the Presidents is really an original twist on that. And the Nationals, to me, have the best ballpark food item anywhere. And that would be a Ben's Chili Bowl half smoke. End of story. Nothing better anywhere, and I defy you to. You can argue at me all you want, as Dan would say.
The Cha-Cha Bowls at AT&T Park are mighty fine.
Well, I haven't had those yet, but
just to kick back to Philly for a second, nothing beat those vet nachos, man. I can still taste them. God dang it!
Oh man!
And if you're taking public transportation, Nationals Park is pretty easy to get to. I know some people rag on the metro, but I don't know. I've always had no problem getting into that stadium.
When a year after I moved down here, I went to see Paul McCartney at Nats Park. I did not know how to get there and feel like figuring it out on the metro. I didn't know the stops. and I don't like not knowing where I'm going. So I decided to drive.
Oh, big mistake.
Dumb. Now, luckily, I think the show was a Thursday or Friday night, so they delayed the show an hour and a half anyway, which is good because I got there with 10 minutes to spare in my seat.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, that bad. I wanted to kill something. The next living thing next to me was going to die.
What made you so late? Just finding a parking spot, the traffic?
I spent a half an hour around the stadium trying to park. And I bought a parking spot at the stadium. Never happened again. Never did it again. There is I'm not going to tell exactly where it is, but it's kind of where the new soccer stadium is. There is a parking lot there. That's where I go. It takes 2 minutes to walk from.
And I heard that's a tough place to park at, too, the new soccer stadium.
I've been there since it's there. I don't really want to find out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, so Nats Park at number 8. Now, we got 7 parks left, and I would argue that 6 of them would be among anybody's top 10 list, unless you're Dave who puts the Marlins Park in there. All right, so coming in at number 7, Coors Field, Colorado Rockies.
I got Coors Field at number 5.
Me too.
Great location. I like the mile-high seats. They have taken some of the worst seats in the park, turned them into like a stand-up bar, and now it's the most popular area. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they sold it, but it works. I also feel that I had the benefit of being there when the Rockies were good. So a place that probably has had on and off fan support was really good when I was there. It's the brown brick and green seats, but I enjoyed Coors Field a lot. Number 5.
Yeah, this is a ballpark. When I was there, it didn't really stand out to me, but when I started thinking about it for this list, it ranked up there. I had it at number 5 as well. You have the nice neighborhood, which has become even better since I was there. You have some interesting food choices like Rocky Mountain oysters, which are sliced bull's testicles, deep fried in a batter.
You can get those at the ballpark?
Yeah, serve with cocktail sauce. They didn't have them when I was there. But that is something you can get there now. In fact, they're so popular that a minor league baseball team in Colorado Springs is opting to choose that name. But, Denver is just one of those towns that people love. They get crazy about. And if you're there during the right time of year, which people say around September, I assume going to a Rockies game would be a mighty fine thing to do.
All right, I have not been there. You know what, Dave, you were talking about taking the worst seats in the house and turning it into a bar. Mm-hmm. That idea was so good that Fenway Park stole it. So
these are seats that are way up high in the outfield, and I think they might actually call it like the rock pile or something like that.
So you've hit on something when the classic old ballparks steal your ideas.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of old ballparks, this may be a surprise. Wrigley Field at number 6.
Wow. That's a shocker. That is a shocker.
You remember all that stuff I said about Fenway?
Double it.
I have Wrigley Field at number 11.
Ooh.
To me, overrated.
White Sox will give you a free ticket. Come on by.
Very difficult. Same thing. Difficult spot to find good seats. You got to really make sure you got good seats. I've been 3 times. The first 2 times, I had great seats, great day. We had a blast. The last time, we were behind a pole. We were under an overhang. The wind just zipped right through there, and it was miserable. It was absolutely miserable. I have great respect for the longevity of Wrigley Field. Of course, the ivy and the brick walls, the history. But for me, it's just too challenging to make it the best experience possible.
I had Wrigley at number 3. I'm not a Cubs fan. I I get a little bit annoyed with Cub fans because, it's when they're losing, they're all cheery, and when they're winning, they're even more annoying. Wrigley Field, to me, is just one of those experiences that, with the exception of maybe Fenway, you just can't have. It's a 104-year-old ballpark. The Wrigleyville around it is astounding. I can't even think of the word, is outstanding. If you are a young person moving to Chicago, you want to be in that place. If you're a tourist going to Chicago, you want to see a game there, and you want to go hang out at all those different bars and restaurants and clubs nearby. It is just such an amazing experience. You have to go there to actually realize how amazing it is, because Wrigley Field is. They're not going to build ballparks like that anymore. But Dave, you are right about the seats. I've been there 3 times. First time were bleacher seats, where I don't think I was able to go to the main concourse. The next time I had seats from an ex-girlfriend's boss, and we had very close seats down behind first base. Excellent, beautiful day. And the last time I went there with a group of friends, we were sort of underneath the top grandstand, and a little bit of disadvantage, but not terrible. So that kind of comes with the territory. I mean, it's over 10 decades old, but it's advertised. And even if you don't like the Cubs, even if you don't like baseball, that's a place you at least want to go and take the tour of. You want to see the old scoreboard. You want to see the ivy. You want to see where people sing after a Cubs win. There's just so many cool little traditions there that you don't see at other places. And the flying the W, the flag. I mean, now everybody has a W flag who's a Cubs fan. I personally would like to get one. I
will say the take me out to the ball game, getting a celebrity to sing it is neat. Yeah. I think I was at the one that was probably most famous because it was Ozzy Osbourne at the height of the Osbournes, and he did not know the words, and he got booed, and they were talking about it on local sports radio for the following week.
He probably didn't know where he even was at that time.
Probably not.
And Wrigley Field does have its disadvantages. I would not drive my car and park there. Even if you find a spot, they got to wedge your car in and make sure you're able to go back and get it out. Or sometimes you got to leave your key with the guy. One cool thing to do, if they're playing on an Easter Sunday, chances are you're going to probably find a spot on the street for free. But that would be my only suggestion. So take the L.
Think about driving down there.
Yeah, I would just take the L, park someplace and take the L, and you'll have a fun experience that way as well with all the fans going to the game. So, yeah, Wrigley Field, I think the pros outweigh the negatives in many areas. The food is basic ballpark food, nothing like they have down on the south side though. So, but to me that's one of my favorite ballparks.
Hard for me to rank Wrigley Field because it's so different than everywhere else, like you were saying, guys, with the traditions and the history and stuff. I've only been once, and I had a great time and I had a terrible time, all in the same day.
Yeah, rooftop seats. We forgot about that.
Well, yeah. Well, some of them now aren't they blocked by those new scoreboards?
They are. But...
And what you're seeing now with Theo Epstein and his regime is you're really seeing it Fenway-fied, if that's a word. They're trying to renovate, like they're doing what they did to Fenway, and it worked at Fenway. I'm not so sure it's going to work at Wrigley, putting all these modern features in. But I found Wrigley dirty. Really, the bathrooms. Oh my God, so dirty.
Yeah,
food was horrible. Concourses were cramped. Seats. I had a bad seat. Like Dave was saying, it might all depend on where you sit, and that goes for a lot of ballparks. And we couldn't find our seats. The seats aren't numbered in order either, which was really a weird.
I don't think that fan base or stadium has suffered enough after Steve Bart. That's just my personal.
So it was Charles. It's a Charles Dickens park for me. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. But
and that's what you're going to have with a ballpark of that age. But
yeah,
here's the thing.
What did you rank it?
I had it ranked. Me or Paul. I had it 3. I had it 3. What did you have?
My National League rankings, as I look at them now, I had it at 3 actually.
Okay. Nice.
Out of 9. So, but you know what? Ask me tomorrow, it'll be 7. Ask me the next day, it'll be 6. So I don't know. My National Leagues they were really interchangeable rankings. But you as a baseball fan, you've got to include Wrigley if you're looking to check out ballparks. It's got to be near the top of your list. Love it or hate it.
Yeah, you have to give it its respect, definitely.
And I know the folks out that way feel about Wrigley the same way folks out here feel about Fenway.
Yeah. And you can't imagine the Cubs not playing in Wrigley and the Sox not playing in Fenway.
Yeah, I think you were the one who said it one time. I don't know what Wrigley would be without the Cubs, and I don't know what the Cubs would be without Wrigley.
Yeah.
It's a great statement.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're in our top 5. Number 5, maybe a little lowly ranked here, Petco Park, San Diego Padres.
Petco. I had that at number 4, so not too far off from my list. A quirky little funky ballpark. I like how they took existing buildings and they incorporated into the design. They have the park within the park, which they have live music, and that's open. I think it's open throughout the day. I think you can go there when there's no game. Great food, great weather, great neighborhood, great city, beautiful women. Petco Park has it all. The only thing we need is the Padres wearing brown jerseys, and then may even rank higher.
Yes.
2020, it's coming back.
Yeah, I had Petco also at number 4. I really enjoyed the outfield area, the park in the park that you were talking about. They have a really neat sandcastle, like a little beach where they bring in people to make like sand sculptures and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. It's definitely San Diego is definitely a baseball first kind of city too. Local materials that they use to build the park, and that big old bronze statue of Tony Gwynn, who is the god of San Diego, doesn't hurt either. So yeah, I had Petco number 4. The guys. Actually underrated. You think California, right? Oh, hot. San Diego gets really cold at night really quickly. So one of the most popular guys kicking around there is the dude with the hot chocolate on his back. He's got the giant hot chocolate thermos on his back and little cups, and he'll pour you a hot chocolate right at your seat. So
I can't imagine drinking a hot chocolate in San Diego.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same thing in San Francisco. Yeah.
San Francisco gets cold. I know that. All right. So if you're keeping score at home, and I know you are, you're thinking, all right, who's left in the National League? And there's somebody there that just doesn't belong.
I think I know who it is.
And that's coming in at number 4, Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark.
You know what? And that's a ballpark I ranked. And I'm not saying that it doesn't belong, doesn't deserve that list, that fanfare score. I guess the other guys just didn't score their other ballparks properly.
Well, let me just say this. For ballparks number 4 through 8 had identical fanfare scores, so I had to go to the tiebreaker, which was the South score. So that's why Cincinnati ended up number 4.
Okay, well, for me with Cincinnati, it's one of the cheapest places to see a major league game. You can buy a ticket there for $5 on an everyday basis, $12 to $18 tickets, and these are actual seats that are decent. The Red fan is like the White Sox fan. It's like the Oriole fan. They want to see a winner. So sometimes when you go see the Cubs play, it becomes Wrigley Field South, and you definitely see the flags waving. It's not a fancy ballpark. It doesn't knock you out with its design. I kind of wish they had the ballpark facing the skyline. That would really up the score. It does face the Ohio River and the Kentucky Hills. Great food selection, though. They have some nice locally made Metwurst and brats and hot dogs. They have something called the Skyline Coney dog, which is a tiny little pup dog with chili sauce and mounds of cheddar cheese. So that's a nice regional dish. They have a French fry with scrapple on top. Not scrapple, with Geta on top of it, which is a locally made slaughter sausage. Easy to park, $10. You can park there, easy to get in and out. You can walk over the bridge from Newport, Kentucky to see the game. So there's a nice little ballpark village outside of it that is in its infancy. Give it some time. It will be a happening place. And you have the Christian Moorline tap room nearby as well, which is a great spot for beer and food. So it's not a fancy out of this world ballpark, but for the price and, being at a major league game, it's a lot of fun. Now, if the Reds can win some games, and they are recently, that place will be packed with diehards, because Red fans, are just like salivating at the mouth for a winner. So,
yeah. I have the Great American Ballpark at number 7. I do like some of the unique features. I like the riverboat that they've got in center field at the batter's eye, probably the best batter's eye. The little smokestacks, it's totally Cincinnati. Definitely got the Skyline Chili on the list, and I like it. I like that it faces out at the river. The history in that place is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, the Hall of Fame.
The Reds Museum is amazing.
Probably the best in baseball.
The only problem with it is it's an extra ticket, so you got to pay for it. But the bronze statues in that place are amazing. Like, I'm not a Pete Rose fan. I'm one of the few that are still saying Pete Rose should not be in the Hall of Fame. But his bronze statue is one of the best that I've ever seen. They got him sliding headfirst into home or whatever, and the hair flying all over. It's so Pete Rose. My biggest complaint about Great American Ballpark, which also is possibly the best corporate name ever, it's too big. For Cincinnati, it's too big.
I can see that.
If it was more the size of, let's say, a ballpark that's in the top 3,
a couple of them,
that I'm thinking of, it would be a whole lot better.
Yeah,
and Cincinnati is baseball first.
Yeah. And another thing, another odd thing about the stadium is, like, right next door in back of center field on this raised platform is their sports arena, which probably comes in second to one of the worst major cities with an arena. Built in 1975, it's been renovated once, but it looks exactly the same as it did on the introduction of WKRP in Cincinnati. So if they were able to just move that away or knock it down, you think of the fun social space you can have out there as well. But you're right. You're right, Dave. It is a little bit too big. Just size it down a bit, and you may have a grand slam.
I would be remiss in not saying, of course, it is the favorite ballpark of my son.
Oh, why does he like it?
Probably because the Reds are his favorite team.
Oh, how did he become a Reds fan in the Toronto area?
2 reasons.
You didn't do your job right.
His first softball team that he played on was the Reds. He played for them for 2 years.
Softball.
Yeah, he played softball.
Oh.
And Joey Votto.
Okay, yeah, Joey Votto. Okay, fair enough.
And he's he wants to be a little bit of an original, and I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan because my dad was a Cleveland Browns fan, so I get that. But yep, that's his favorite park.
Okay.
There's really nothing I can add that you guys haven't already touched on with Cincinnati. The best Hall of Fame, hands down, of any of them. It's important to have good places like Cincinnati, the history there, and it's good to have not just the big cities, but have the smaller cities in the country represented. So, I don't know, it just, like I said, my ratings, especially for the National League, slide up and down, but it's kind of low on mine. It's number 7. So that brings us to the medal stand, the top 3. Coming in at 3 is PNC Park, Pittsburgh Pirates.
So
wow.
I have PNC ranked number 1. The location is fantastic. I love that it's on the river. I love the boats coming in. The barbecue out in center field. I can't remember the dude's name. Manny
Sanguian.
Yeah, Manny's barbecue is awesome. I would say the best concessions anywhere. You can get your pierogies, you can get your Manny's barbecue, you could get your Quaker steak, or you can.
Permanente Brothers.
I do every time for some reason. I get the Permanente Brothers. Go with the capicola and cheese.
The classic.
Yeah.
Here's a story. Here's a food story for you real quick. First time we ever went to Pittsburgh. Man versus food is a theme that runs through all our podcasts. I went and got a Permanente Brothers sandwich. My wife didn't want one. I had to go up to the seat and I left the sandwich behind with her, went to go get some sodas. I came back, the sandwich was gone.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, you're right. That was pretty good.
When I was talking,
and you had to get another one.
I did.
When I was talking about Cincinnati being too big, PNC is the perfect size. That's how big. Yeah. That's how Great American Ballpark should be for that community. That size.
Yeah, and I would just add that stunning view of the skyline and the bridge and the rivers is captivating. I never knew Pittsburgh had such a scenic view from the ballpark. It's you're right. It's the perfect size. It's the perfect vessel for Pittsburgh baseball. The food is outstanding. There was a guy outside grilling some hot dogs when I was there last, and they had the natural casings, and you just snap into them. I bought 2 more. They were that good. You're right. The pierogi race, another fan base that's starving for a consistent winner. And, if Cincinnati and Pittsburgh had these, could you imagine? I'm sorry, if Pittsburgh had a consistent winner, could you imagine how much more that place would be on our stadium lists? I had it number 2, but easily could have it at number 1. Very, very small division between 1 and 2 with my ballpark list.
Well, if we're looking at the Stadium Journey rankings, I would say PNC has to be ranked perfectly, and the 2 ahead of it are overrated.
Well, no, one of them I wouldn't say.
Because the guy who wrote the Pittsburgh Review is bang on.
Must be somebody named Dave.
That was mine.
Yeah.
Has a ballpark? I mean, have ballparks ever been rated a 5 or any facility?
Yes, and very controversially, we might add.
I mean,
Oriole Park got a 5 at one point.
Yeah, well, that's probably when they won the division, correct?
No.
Oh, that was at Stephen Burke, wasn't it?
No, it was not. Richard
that was Richard.
All right. So, PNC Park for me is ranked number 1 also. Love the ballpark. It's got an intimate, like you said, Dave, it's a perfect size. The views, you can't beat them. The food is fantastic. Fans are friendly. The staff is outstanding. Little thing that I like to do every time we go, we always seem to hit Pittsburgh on a day where it's 90 degrees. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if you walk down the river, on the side of the ballpark, if you walk down towards where the 3 rivers come together, there's a little fountain that goes, it's up behind where Jerome Bettis' restaurant is, and it runs down some steps, and it's a waiting fountain, so you can all go in there. So what we'll do is we'll wait for the traffic to leave all the parking lots, and we'll sit there and wade, stick our feet in the water, and spend 10, 15 minutes cooling off, and let all the traffic leave, and then we're just right out of the parking lots.
That's an interesting little tidbit.
Hidden gem that we seem to hit, because it always seems to be hot when we're in Pittsburgh.
I did not know that. Very good.
All right, so we got 2 left. And I don't agree with the positionings of 1 and 2, and I don't think 1 should even be in the top 3. But anyway, number 2, AT&T Park in San Francisco.
That was number 1 on my list, AT&T Park, and the reason why that was number 1 over Pittsburgh was I like San Francisco. I think that's just a cool city to be in, no matter what's going on there. The highlights for me was the design of the ballpark. They went from this massive and hideous Candlestick Park to a more small, comfortable place for baseball. They made it a fun place to be. They added amazing food like the garlic fries, and they have seafood, and they have sushi, which at one time was very odd to have at a ballpark, but It screams San Francisco. And the Cha-Cha Bowls are amazing and well worth the wait. Every place you go to, there's a long line because the food is that good. You have McCovey's Cove in the background with the sailboats. You just have these nice smell of the fresh seawater, the seagulls flying above. It's just a very picturesque place to be. And it's a party. And when I was there, it was during those 3 World Series that the Giants won, so it was a hot ticket. The neighborhood was amazing to be at. A lot of places were filled with fans before and after the game. My only complaint was the BART transit line did not go to the ballpark, and you had to find parking space if you were driving, which was a little bit pricey. Fortunately, my wife and I found a free spot and went to the game.
Yeah, I had AT&T Park at number 2. A lot of the stuff that you talked about, great design. Right on McCovey Cove there. And, of course, it's been famous with all of those Barry Bonds home runs that have been hit into the water. They have the giant glove. They have the giant Coke bottle, which are all very unique to AT&T Park. We did the tour there, a great tour. When we did it, terrible tour guide. But there's little things. They have 24 palm trees out in the front for Willie Mays.
That's right.
Because he wore number 24. The only thing that I didn't like about AT&T Park is it's expensive. Mm-hmm. Compared to Pittsburgh, it's really, really expensive. Like, we were sitting way up top, which isn't the worst spot, especially when you're there and you can look out on the bay. And we were paying like almost $50 for those tickets.
Wow, that much.
Which was pretty pricey for baseball. But you know what? Sold out. Always sold out. Yeah. A really good spot. And I'm gonna guess, Paul, that you haven't been there, but it needs to be high on your list.
You know what? I have been there.
Oh,
just not for a game.
Just not for a game.
It's actually 10 years ago now. We went out to San Fran to catch a Patriots game at Candlestick. So it's been a little while. And while we were there, we took a tour of AT&T Park, and the place was just fantastic. I wish we could get back there soon to catch a ball game. And actually, one of my daughters was just out in San Francisco, the area, and she didn't go into the city. So you missed an opportunity. San Francisco is one of my favorite cities that I've visited.
Yeah.
So not only the ballpark, the city itself is fantastic.
Well, you can get tickets for Giant Game now starting at from $6 to $25, depending the night. So I guess you got to pick the night. Wow, $6 seats?
I must have been there in an odd-numbered year.
Well,
Exactly.
and that's the same thing with their next ballpark we're going to talk about. I was there, and I paid $33 for the ticket at the gate. And I'm thinking, what? And my seats, well, we'll talk about it coming up.
So, so National League has some outstanding ballparks. All right, ranked number 1 here, if you've been keeping score, you know the only one left is Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A lot of people really love this ballpark. I've been there. I think it's the most overrated ballpark in the major leagues. So
that's pretty high. I have Busch Stadium at number 12. There's a lot I like about Busch. There is no other city in the country that is more baseball than St. Louis. The arch to the gateway to the west is viewable from the park, which is great. The ballpark village there is amazing.
Overrated.
But I would say that the timing is curious because to me it came at the tail end of all of the retro parks, and there was nothing original for me. It was that, they took this from that park, they took that from that park, and maybe it was because I had been to those other parks first. Maybe it was, I had been to Baltimore and I had been to Wrigley and I had been to Fenway before I went to St. Louis, but there was nothing new there for me. So number 12.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of how I viewed it too. Number 1, the second Busch Stadium was regarded as a cathedral to a lot of Cardinal fans. So you had some people that were a little bit resistant. They didn't feel like you had to knock that down to build a ballpark, as you say, looked exactly like many other ones across the country. They loved this, that they had this old stadium that was probably considered the best of the multi-purpose ones. To me, my problem with the new Busch is that if you get certain seats and you're sitting in the right field bleachers, you have obstructed view. You can't see a corner of right field, and you can't see even parts of the scoreboard in center field. And that should not be happening at a ballpark built in 2006. No ifs, ands, or buts. Unless it says on your ticket, obstructed view, and they give you a little bit of a discount. I paid $33 for my seat. It was Bob Gibson bobblehead day, so I guess it was a Saturday night, so I guess the tickets were up in price. It's just okay. It's there. It's St. Louis. It doesn't look like anything I haven't seen before. It's probably a little bit sharper looking than Cincinnati and Cleveland. The ballpark village next door is kind of fun. It's I don't think it's overrated, but I don't think it's Wrigleyville. I don't think it's outside of Fenway Park. They have a Hall of Fame as well outside that, comparing it to Cincinnati, may fall number 2. It was very comprehensive, and you can read my review on Stadium Journey. Just type it in. So, yeah. And I had it at number 11. It wasn't anything spectacular to me, and Cardinal fans can be annoying at times, just like Cub fans.
So, yeah, I can't really add much that you guys haven't talked about. I was not a fan of the ballpark village. I just thought it was a bunch of bars thrown together. Big deal. Yeah, there's nothing original about the ballpark. Like you said, Dave, a little piece from this one, a little piece from that one. And St. Louis being one of the marquee teams really should have set a trend and not just copied a trend. The view, fantastic of the arch and right near the river. It's got a decent location. The light rail that pulls up right outside the ballpark is a plus.
That's nice, yeah.
So, a lot of good things about it, but nothing to distinguish it, nothing to warrant the number 1 ranking.
Wasn't it that after, this is a feeling that I got, that after they built Busch and it took away another quote-unquote cookie-cutter stadium, to me it just redefined cookie-cutter, right? Like it was it's just a new cookie-cutter. It's not round anymore. It's a different shape.
It's the red brick. It's the green seats. It's this and then that. And so that's why, I think that's kind of why we've mentioned ballparks that stand out, like Minnesota, for example, things that look a little different. So what's the new trend going to be? We don't know. But there's our ranking of the National League parks. So before we close up, guys, do we want to give our top 3 for each of us personally? Let me recap between the American and National. Stadium Journey's top 5 ballparks. Pittsburgh at number 5. San Fran at number 4. Cleveland at number 3. Baltimore is number 2. And St. Louis was number 1. Highest ranking of both leagues.
So I got... And I'm really heavily National League biased here. So my top 5 overall. Number 5, I have Petco. Number 4, I have Marlins Ballpark. Number 3, I have Kauffman. Number 2, AT&T Park. And number 1, I have PNC.
Okay.
And in fact, in my top 10, in my top 10, 7 of them are in the National League.
Well, I only asked for the top 3, so all right.
Yeah, top 3, I have...
Or top 5, since Dave set the trend.
Top 5, I have Baltimore. 4, I have San Diego, Petco Park. 3, I have Wrigley Field. 2, Pittsburgh's PNC Field. And number 1, San Francisco. But I have a feeling that Minnesota could creep up and knock Baltimore and maybe even San Diego off that list sometime soon.
All right, let's see. So for me, number 5 was Minnesota. Number 4 was Kansas City. Number 3 is Fenway. Number 2 is Pittsburgh. And number 1 is Camden Yards. So I went the opposite. I have an American League slant. But I also know that if I have gone to a couple places, if I go to AT&T, Petco, those might jump in. And of course, Field, they may knock out some of the other ones. So, there you go. All 15 National League ballparks ranked. if you agreed with our rankings, if you did not agree for your rankings, go to the website, go to stadiumjourney.com, put in some crowd reviews, give us your input. Go to the Facebook channel, go to our Twitter account at Stadium Journey, go to Instagram, go wherever, and let us know what you think. If you agree, disagree, we want to hear it all. Doesn't matter. And in addition to Stadium Journey, for more of the best podcasts on the internet, check out hiactalkradio.com or on Twitter at HIAC Talk Radio. So, our next show will be in 3 weeks on August 21st. I believe our topic will be football. Believe it or not, it's that time of year again.
Now, are we not having a show from the convention?
We'll have to discuss that. Hopefully we'll have a bonus, what do they call it? Webisode?
Webisode.
Maybe? Or episode? I don't know. We'll have to discuss the logistics. And if I can sneak my stuff onto a plane. So, Dan, in the coming weeks, do you have any stadium journeys planned? And even if not, where can our listeners follow you?
No, in the next coming weeks, it's my birthday, and that's what I'm doing. So follow me on Twitter at DanLaw83.
24-1. Wow.
That's game? Timely. No,
yeah, I'm done. I'm not watching another Met game until 2019.
So, Mark, where can our listeners follow you not watching the Mets? And do you have any trips planned in the coming weeks?
Definitely not to see the Mets play. I mean, I'm going to check my schedule to make sure the Mets are not the away team. Hold on. I'm just going to go up and just scream into a pillow. You can follow me at Ballpark Hunter on Twitter. I will be in Chicago at Guaranteed Rate Field on August 18th. And I will be hitting Cincinnati's Great American Ballpark the week after. And then on September 22nd, it will be Co-America Park in Detroit.
And Dave, do you have any stadium journeys planned? And where can our listeners follow them?
I do. On August 8th, I am happy to see our Australian Lloyd Rothwell. He comes north of this border and way far away from his home.
He's going across a lot of borders.
Yeah. He's doing a quick whirlwind ballpark tour, but he will be in Toronto at Rogers Centre to play a certain Red Sox team on August 8th. August 9th, in honor of today is Vladdy Jr. Day, as he has made his debut with the Buffalo Bisons. I'm going to head down and see them. They're playing Lloyd Brown's favorite minor league team, the Gwinnett Strippers. I mean Stripers. And then the weekend of August the 11th, August 12th, it'll be Stadium Journey Convention, and I will be in New Orleans to see the Baby Cakes. So you can follow all those at ProFan9 on Twitter and Instagram.
And as for myself, this coming weekend will be the Red Sox two-step hitting McCoy Stadium on Friday and the Fenway Park to see the Sox Yankees Sunday. And of course, they moved that game to 8 p.m. Damn them. Damn ESPN. And then the following week, it'll be my turn to take the southern trip. So I'll be hitting up New Orleans, Mobile, Mississippi Braves, Biloxi Shuckers, Pensacola Blue Wahoos, Birmingham Barons, and then the Atlanta Braves before I head home. So you can follow all my stadium journeys on Twitter or Instagram at PuckmanRI. And I just hope either A, there's no hurricane, or B, it's not 110 degrees with 150% humidity.
No tropical storms here.
Exactly.